what's left is right. Chasing stars and holding you. I can't see the end, but we'll see it through. Times don't fly too high. Be sure to keep the ground in sight. Fly forever if you keep it tight. Love the world but keep the sky on your mind.
myself wondering, what did happen to the last 10? I ran away with my life, fast forward, never turn back again. It's kind of funny that the more we pass time, the more we need to set the rewind. And 19 was the year I had to leave you, but now I'm seeing all the signs. Is this really happening? I can't believe it's true. I'm just as surprised as you. Is this really happening? I can't be too sure, but one day I'll be yours again. Life lessons come one in a dozen. The other 11 give something from nothing. I sit here looking for an answer. Maybe the biggest question was in the last chapter. You gave me the soul I have today. Without you I never could have moved away. But now I see what you teach. I do believe I always should have stayed. Yeah. Is this really happening? I can't believe it's true. I'm just as surprised as you. Is this really happening? I can't be too sure, but one day I'll be yours again. One day I'll be One day I'll be Life lessons come one in a dozen. The other 11 give something from nothing. Life lessons come one in a dozen. The other 11 give something from nothing. Life lessons come one in a dozen. The other 11 give something from nothing. Life changes just open the door. One thing's certain, I'll always be yours.
And we're at Silver Creek Elementary School for our March regular scheduled school board meeting. This time at 6:30, I'd like to call the meeting to order. And if we would, please rise while Ms. Franklin leads us in the Pledge of Allegiance, followed by the invocation by Dr. Balmer. The flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Dear Heavenly Father, we just give thanks for all the blessings we have here as a school district, and we want to especially thank you for the students that you entrust with us each and every day. Thank you for our staff that is dedicated to their future success. Continue to give us passion and energy to do our very best for them each and every day, and give us the wisdom to make the best decisions possible for our students, staff, and community. We are grateful for all that you have given us and ask that you'll continue to watch over us and keep us safe and continue to send your blessings our way. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen. As we like to start every meeting, I'll read our mission statement. The Silver Creek School Corporation will operate with integrity, providing a safe, welcoming, and inclusive culture for our Dragon family. Through our dedication to academic excellence, we empower everyone to achieve their highest potential. As stewards for our stakeholders and community, we are committed to acting with transparency and accountability. This time, we'll have roll call. Mr. Basham is absent. Ms. McDaniel?
Present.
Mr. Groen? Here. Ms. Franklin? I am also present. Dr. Briggs, we have quorum. Do you have any emergency additions or revisions to the agenda?
Yes, good evening, everyone. Yes, I have several revisions to the agenda. We will start under number 7, consent agenda, under letter A, finances. Number 4, over $10,000. Recommendation is to add number 4, school outfitters. Moving on, under letter B, personnel, requests for approval. Under number 3, resignations, add letter A, Grant Condon, math teacher, Silver Creek Middle School, position control number 40025, effective March 14, 2025. Also under letter B, personnel, under number 2, classified appointments, the recommendation is to remove letter A. Remove letter A. Moving on, under classified, number 1, appointments, recommendation is to add letter H, Nicole Dunaway, cafeteria associate, Silver Creek High School, position control number 51018, effective March 10, 2025. Also, underneath number 2, classified, number 5, positions, recommendation is to add letter B, operations laborer, Silver Creek High School, position control number 51039. Also, under consent agenda, under letter C, other requests for approval, recommendation is to add Roman numeral number 10, revised 2024-2025 school calendar. The change there is Silver Creek Middle School to participate in synchronous e-learning on Tuesday, May 6th, 2025. And also under letter C, other, recommendation is to add Roman numeral number 11, MOU, Indiana University Southeast. Moving on, under discussion action items, under letter B, action items, request for approval. Recommendation is to add Roman numeral number 4, request to apply for common school loan. And lastly, under action item, recommendation is to add Roman numeral number 5, request to seek proposals for Silver Creek High School baseball field and Silver Creek High School softball field naming rights. And that is it for recommendations to the agenda.
All right, hearing Dr. Briggs' additions and revisions to the agenda, do we have a motion to bring that to the floor? Ms. Franklin makes a motion. Do we have a second?
I second.
Ms. McDaniel seconds. Any discussion needed? Hearing none, all those in favor, please say aye. Aye. Those opposed, motion carries 4-0. Next up in your board packet, you should have had the meeting minutes from February 18th, work session, regular and executive session meetings. Do we have a motion to bring that to approval?
I so move.
Mr. Groen makes a motion. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
Ms. Franklin seconds. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, motion carries 4-0. Next up, we have some special visitors with us tonight. We have Miss Myers here with Mr. Ehringer with our Spell Bowl team.
Wireless mic.
Okay, so this is Silver Creek Elementary's Spell Bowl team, coached by Mr. J.D. Ehringer here. He's done a wonderful job. Guys, I'm going to hand you the microphone. I'm going to let you guys introduce yourselves, and then I'll share some of their accolades. Here we go.
My name is Carter. My name is Harper. My name is Caleb. My name is Caroline.
My name is Kyrie. My name is Emery. My name is Brooklyn.
My name is Jesse.
My name is Samadi.
My name is Avery.
All right, so just sharing some of the things that this Spell Bowl, they competed back in November, but Mr. Ehringer is a very busy man. And so right after Spell Bowl was finished, he started girls basketball. Right after girls basketball, he started boys basketball. So I just got our first board meeting that Mr. Ehringer could join us. So we're excited to be able to honor these kiddos. But our Spell Bowl team did a phenomenal job. We scored, I think it was the best ever, right? Best that Mr. Ehringer's ever done, with a score of 50 out of 56 words correct. That we were first in our region of competition, and then actually 11th out of the whole state in our division. So that's pretty impressive. And we had 2 perfect spellers. They were Presley M. and Jesse McRae. And we had 6 near perfect spellers: Avery Von Allman, Danielle Cheatham, Emery Tate, Samadi Hernandez, and Brooklyn Burris. So congratulations to all these kids. They did a great job. And thank you to Mr. Ehringer.
Yeah, maybe you guys come forward. We'll stand behind you.
Right. Good safety here. Cool. 3, 2, 1. All right. Thank you. Congratulations.
All right, well, next up, we have Dr. Willman and Miss Nunn with our choir.
Hey, thank you. If you guys can come on down front. Yeah. And Mrs. Sheffield was unable to be here this evening, so I'm going to have a couple of students come up here and speak. But all 6 students who attended received the highest rating of gold on their solos. And so what I would like to do, I'd like to have them introduce themselves. So if you guys would kind of, can we do? Okay. If you can introduce yourself and then say what grade you're in.
7th grade. I'm Ember Lamar, and I'm a junior.
I'm Alice Wade, and I'm a junior.
I'm William Flo, and I'm a sophomore.
I'm Willow Johnson, and I'm a senior.
I'm Lydia Johnson. I'm in 6th grade.
I'm Raya Phipps, and I'm in 6th grade too.
I'm Hollis Braun, and I am also in 6th.
I am Kendall Kroll, and I'm in 6th grade.
Okay, great. And we're going to test this on extemporaneous speaking here real quick. Since Mrs. Sheffield was unable to be here, little alliteration, we're going to have Will and Willow speak on how this process works.
All right, so the process starts is that we all signed up to do the solos and such. Ms. Sheffield will then choose a song for us to sing individually, and we will be given a certain amount of time to learn that song, the timing, the notes and everything. And during that time, Ms. Sheffield will do little check-ins, and if you pass the check-ins and she thinks you're ready, then you'll be sent off to a whole competition. We'll have a regional, which is all the schools from the area, and that'll be hosted usually by Floyd Central. And we'll go there and we'll sing in front of a judge. And if we get gold there, we get to go compete in state, and that's the entire state. Several soloists who will all sing in front of a judge individually. And there's a certain scoring and point system, and for that, I will hand it off to my associate here.
Associate. He's so fancy. So the way the rating works is that there are technically 4 divisions. The highest division is Division 1, and that is the division that you get to go to state if you get gold. Divisions 2, 3, and 4, you can get gold at regionals, but that does not qualify you to go on to state. So all of the people who went to state and got a solo, oh my gosh, we're both struggling. Solo, that would be us 4, I believe. Yes. We went to regionals and we got a gold in Division 1, which is the most difficult rhythms, difficult notes and jumps. And then we went to state. And at state, it is very, very harsh. And we got gold. One Ember got gold with a distinction, which means she got nearly perfect in her song. Now, how the points actually work. And Alice, you got distinction too? My bad. We also had 2 people who got gold at state who could not make it, and those were Lila and Ray. They did very, very well. For the actual point system, you don't get points for how good you do. You actually get points for how bad you do, which is really confusing when you look at the paper. Yeah, so if you get something like 9 points, that means you did perfect. If you get 15, that means you sucked. But, sorry, that was really, really mean. Anyway, those who get gold get from 11 to a 9. And that is how the point system works for everything like your breathing and your notes and whether or not you introduced yourself right. So that's how the point system works, and that's how it worked for us.
think we get, you guys want pictures? Or?
I think she has to claim.
All right, right here, folks. All right, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right, thank you. Good job. Alex, when do I play the video? I know.
Dr. Willman, don't go anywhere.
Yeah, let me know what I'm supposed to do there.
Matter of fact, you might just want to take residency by that microphone for a little bit.
If you want to borrow this, you can. So you can move. Borrow this if you want to move around.
Good. We're good. Are we ready?
Ms. Kramer's here, right? Yep, there she is.
Okay.
Back there.
All right. This next recognition is for Dee Kramer. She is a winner of a Lilly grant. She can explain it a little bit more to you, but Dee is a dedicated professional. She does lots of valuable things for students, and with programs that are, I guess, sometimes hard to find, or maybe that your general population doesn't really know a whole lot about. Polar Plunge is one of them. She does Project Stepping Stone. She's kind of in charge of that. Some great programs there. This is another one that she sought out for herself, and I think we're excited to see how it will benefit her and her students.
I am Dee Kramer. I'm this librarian at Silver Creek High School. I'm just really excited because I applied this year for an Eli Lilly, I think it's called Teacher Enrichment Grant. But basically, it's a wonderful opportunity for teachers and counselors, people that work in the school system to apply through Eli Lilly to do a grant that is for themselves. Like, it doesn't have to have anything to do with school. It's awesome. And I was awarded $50 shy of $15,000. And I am just totally pumped about it. I live on a farm, and my passion is kind of getting back to the old. Okay. So what I'm doing is, and everybody can just laugh at me now because these guys are over here giggling already. Most people who won are traveling Europe. They're going golfing through the Alps. I am doing an apprenticeship with the Amish. So that's it. I will be working with the Amish and the Mennonite and learning how to farm with horses and getting my horses trained and how to plow. So I'll be bringing that back. We'll be doing demonstrations. I have to do 2 demonstrations, once this year, once next year on our farm for community members to come see. And then I'll be doing a couple things during Flex for our kids to come find out about it. So that's it. Thank you.
Yes, and I want to introduce Kate Brown. She is essentially in charge of our college and career fair that we're going to have April 9th. This is one of those things that is, to be fair, it's a requirement. Each high school has to do a form of it, but we're really going to take a big swing at this. She's really gone after this and recruiting a lot of people, knows who to kind of put in charge and to make contact with those people in the community. And we think this, while educators kind of pride themselves on slow and steady and consistency and all that stuff, I really think this will be a day that the students are going to remember for a very, very long time. So Kate will explain it, and I think we'll be accompanied with Alex on a video.
Dr. Balmer, do I get a clicker? I want to be like professional here. Or are you going to tell me when to click? Do you need me to tell you when to click? No. I gave you a PowerPoint. Uh-huh. I guess I can do it without it. Okay. Dr. Waters says I got it. All right. You gonna click for me or do I get one? He's gonna click? All right, here we go. So my name's Kate Brown, as he says, I'm a teacher at Silver Creek High School, and I'm excited to share with you the journey of organizing the first ever college and career day. I feel weird because like nobody is in front of me, and okay. Okay. So I'm here to explain. Sorry, Alex. You good? Okay. So I'm here to explain the first ever college and career day that's going to be happening on April 9th. Oh, I get a clicker. Thank you. You're awesome. So this event is designed to give our students a deeper, more engaging look at the future opportunities beyond high school. So that's kind of the point. And as Dr. Willman said, it is partly state required, but we decided to go above and beyond. So I'm introduced to this idea when Amy Compton, our great counselor over there, came to me and said that she wanted to move away from the walking the vendor booths and just walking around, and she wanted to take it a level up. So I said, okay, I'll start brainstorming ideas. So I started to brainstorm ideas, and I started to look at my own personal experiences and professional developments I went to. So for instance, I teach engineering, by the way. So I took our engineering students the last couple of years to Manufacturing Week. That was a really good conference for those students. Ivy Livers and I went to the Women's Lead Conference at the University of Louisville. We took several women there, female students. That was a good conference. And then my personal favorite is the PLTW Summit. So I took all those ideas that I had, and there was 3 things that was clear. 1, we wanted to create a full day experience where students could choose breakout sessions based on their interest, hear from keynote speakers who can relate and inspire to our students, and interact with companies and colleges in a meaningful way. So those were our goals. And we began building contact lists from existing partnerships. So Ms. Glazer from SCCAP had connections with her job shadow, so we started with that. Along with the people I met at Manufacturing Weeks, we added those to it, and then we sent it out to our colleagues, and they added other companies to the list. And then I can't speak highly enough about the next 2 ladies, Tracy Hatter and Amy Stiegel, who work at the high school. Yep, you can woohoo for them. They have been phenomenal, sending out emails, contacts, phone calls, you name it. These women have done it. And the list started to pile up. People started to say, yeah, we want to come, we want to come, we want to come. And then a key moment happened when we needed a keynote speaker. And Amy Compton was the one that said, hey, let's get Nate Ross. He is our Silver Creek alumni. And when we asked him, he right away said, yeah, let's do it. And then he came along and he added more contacts to the list and got donations as well. And then Ivy Tech, and I'm sorry, Troy Clampett, I don't know his official title, but Troy Clampett came along from Ivy Tech and his feet were on the ground and he was running out, knocking on doors, sending more emails. So we had a large list of people wanting to come and share their experience with our students. So then something else happened. Olivia Fitchett, who is another alumni of ours, Olivia, there she is another alumni of ours, said, hey, I hear you're doing this really cool thing at Silver Creek High School. I want to come back and give back to the students. Can I be a part of it? And we said, well, we need a closing speaker. Would you like to be part of that? And she's like, yes, absolutely. So we have been meeting for the last couple of months, once a month, and our last meeting is Friday. And we're just really excited about these 2 people coming along, and they're strong leaders, and we think that they can truly inspire our students. But it's just not them. So I'm going to say thank you to a couple of people before you watch their video. There's a lot of people that have played a part in this. And the first one I'm going to do is Alex Smith, because he's Alex Smith, right? Yep. The man behind the camera. He has done a lot of hype videos and informational videos. You'll see one tonight for the parents, as well. He's our tech guru for that night. Again, as I said earlier, Tracy Hatter and Amy Stiegel, this thing could not have happened without those 2 women. Hannah Oliver, she's not here tonight, but she was able to get enriching students up and running and making sure all the kids are scheduled in it so they could know when to go see the vendors, know when their breakout sessions were, and know when, of course, when lunch is, right? Because that's important. The next on the list is Dr. Jessica Waters. She just kept us on track in our meetings and making sure that we're following district policies and making sure we're just doing more than just checking a box, right? We just wanted to go above beyond. And then our three amazing counselors, one of them here tonight, Amy Compton, Amanda Owen, and Meredith, Sasha Meredith. They have been great, not only in planning this, but they're also doing the discovery meeting for juniors and seniors that is also mandatory by the state. And then Ivy Livers, she's preparing gift bags for over 70 vendors that are coming, along with donations from Miss Glazer, who's donating the bags for the gift bags. So that's awesome. They stepped up into that. And then Mike Day, Joe Decker, Jennifer Glazer, Debbie Sappenfield will serve as our MCs, introducing our keynote speakers. This is meaningful because they were teachers when Nate and Olivia were here. And so it's truly a full circle moment because now they can see someone inspire the future generation. And then Connie Holstein has stepped up and she is making, or she's already made, a wish list for prizes for the students. So if you're interested in donating one of those prizes for the students, contact Connie Holstein. And then of course, Dr. Willman, he'll be hosting the work lunch for our vendors and kind of bridging that gap between the community and our students and the new graduation requirements for internships for juniors and seniors in the next couple of years and what that looked like. So this day is not all about having students choose a career path today. That's not the point. The point is about opening their eyes to possibilities, sparking new interest and helping them find what Nate Ross is calling their GPS. So you're going to see that a lot in this whole day. He says that the GPS is their goals, their passions, and the sense of calling. We want them to start thinking. We want them to start setting goals and realizing their potential, knowing that plans may change, and that's okay, but have a plan, have a goal, set those goals. So who better to inform our students than these professionals coming in and talking to our kids themselves? So we have, drum roll, 40 vendors and 49 guest speakers coming in that day to talk to our students. So I wanted to thank all these people that are going to come in and speak to our kids that day. It's just a phenomenal, and I hope it's going to be great. So I wanted to say thank you to everyone for their support and help into this vision. And so now I'm going to let you hear from Nate and Olivia themselves. This video was made by Alex. Do you want me to click Alex? I do it, right? I have it on here. Okay.
Hey, my name's Nate Ross, class of 2000 here at Silver Creek. Hey, my name's Nate Ross, class of 2000 here at Silver Creek, and I'm honored to be a part of the first ever career day at Silver Creek High School.
Hi, everybody. I am Olivia Fitchett. I am a graduate of the 2011 class.
Sometimes when we think about career day, we think that just means a job fair. This day is about way more than just a job. It's about helping these students step into their calling.
Our goal for this day, very simply, is to put some wheels on all the dreams these students have and send them out into a community.
We have over 70 community leaders that are going to be here as either vendors or breakout speakers to pour into students. This is going to be a great day. And here's what I love about this day, just personally. There was a mentor in my life that called out something he saw in me that I didn't see in myself when I was in high school. And it was that conversation that set me on my trajectory for my career. And our hope for that day is that the same thing would happen for the hundreds of students a part of Silver Creek High School.
We hope that you will encourage those students to join us. It's going to be a day full of excitement. It's going to be a day full of learning. And most of all, it's going to be a day full of fun. And so don't miss this. You're not going to want to miss it.
Make sure to encourage your students to be there. We have a lot of surprises planned, a lot of great things in store. Can't wait to be a part of the first ever career day here at Silver Creek High School.
Have Dr. Briggs and our principals to talk about the educational impact of the upcoming referendum.
Good evening. At our last board meeting in February, I shared information with you concerning some feedback we have received. We do have a special election coming up here in May. 3 topics I'm presenting on. Last board meeting was our out-of-district transfers and why we take them. Tonight is the academic impact of our proposed projects, and next month will be what would be a plan B should we not do these projects. The first couple slides here are simply a review from last time. Again, our current capacity for 3 of our 4 schools. Keep in mind, we're going to exclude the high school because it's being taken care of now. But the primary school is currently at 20% over capacity, elementary school 5% over capacity, and the middle school 21% over capacity. Proposed projects to alleviate some of our capacity. Silver Creek Primary School, the proposal is to add 1 addition to include more pre-K, kindergarten, and first grade classrooms, also rooms for specials and special education. The proposal includes building a new school. Also here once we build a new school, then we'll be able to reconfigure grade levels at our elementary and middle school, turning this building into a grades 4 through 6 and the middle school into a grades 7 and 8. And then lastly, a field house design determined based on funds remaining after the above priorities, and then also preventive maintenance. Should we be able to move forward with these projects when they are completed, our primary school would be approximately 20% under capacity. The new school would be approximately 16% under capacity. This current elementary school, 18% under capacity, and the middle school at 22% under capacity. The key in this slide is that we will have room for growth for many years to come. The estimated cost, again, as mentioned last time, is $62,856,250. Total construction cost there of $50+ million. Add in an additional 25% for hard cost, and our estimated bond total of $62,856,250. We encourage everyone, if you want to know how this is going to impact your tax rate, go to our corporation website. There is a tax calculator where you click on that and you dial in your assessed value of your home, and it will tell you to the dollar the impact that the proposed tax rate increase will have on you. Tonight, I've invited out several individuals to talk about the academic impact. What better individuals to do this than our school principals, and we also have our high school athletic director here to talk about the impact of the field house. So at this time, I'm going to turn it over to Mrs. Campbell to talk about academic impact of the primary school.
All right. Thank you, Dr. Briggs. I'm Abby Campbell. I'm the principal at Silver Creek Primary School. Just in discussing these proposed construction projects, these projects are instrumental in expanding our academic impact for our students. The first thing listed there on the slide is our preschool expansion. Preschool significantly impacts a child's kindergarten readiness by providing a foundation of skills and language development and social emotional learning, and these skills are critical as they transition into kindergarten. Children that are able to transition more smoothly due to having been exposed to preschool do so with a positive attitude towards learning. By expanding our preschool, we will be able to connect with our community and have partnerships with our families long before the expectations of kindergarten are there. Most importantly, early intervention is so imperative when it comes to the potential for positive cognitive impact as a student grows. When we think about future class sizes, we're very proud at the primary of the product that we can offer to our students and the way that they are ready to move on to the next grade level or the next building when they leave us. But a huge piece of this is our current class sizes. With this expansion, we will be able to house more sections of each grade level. In doing so, that keeps that teacher to student ratio low, allowing us to have an educational experience designed for a student's strengths and weaknesses. Smaller ratios mean that we can offer more opportunities. Just in general, the fewer the students, the more teachers can provide individualized attention and strengthen that student-teacher connection. For the primary level, class size is significant in ensuring positive academic outcomes for our students. Probably the biggest immediate need that we have at the primary is we simply are just out of space. We have been as creative as possible, but the reality is right now our student intervention groups and our enrichment groups, both of those, are housed in our hallways. Dedicated spaces for this work will ensure students are learning at high levels and receiving the intervention and enrichment they need. With these dedicated learning spaces, it will provide a quieter atmosphere. You can imagine how many little people we have moving throughout our hallways while also trying to provide intervention and enrichment. In addition to that, currently we have 3 special area classes, art, music, and STEM. Our teachers do an amazing job, but they are pushing a cart around our building in and out of classrooms all day. I can't compliment them enough on the art, music, and STEM activities that they choose to do with our youngest learners. However, imagine what they could do if they had a dedicated space to their work. Specifically in the area of STEM, that is where students develop those critical thinking skills and problem-solving skills. So having classrooms dedicated to the arts and to STEM will foster that scientific literacy and that collaboration and creativity at the primary as well.
Thank you, Mrs. Campbell. Up next, Mrs. Myers, principal at Silver Creek Elementary School.
Thank you and good evening. For the projected projects at Silver Creek Elementary School, it is critical because just like Mrs. Campbell said, Silver Creek Elementary is busting at the seam. We have almost nearly 1,000 students and we are out of space. So this proposed project would allow us to plan for the future. As our enrollment continues to grow, our class sizes needs to be a key consideration when planning. Smaller class sizes are critical for teachers to be able to meet one-on-one with students, to be able to hit those goals and focus on those interventions and enrichment. Our new class space would provide for some dedicated areas for collaborative small group learning. Currently, we have a title team that shares one classroom. So there's 4 adults pulling multiple students into one classrooms for different interventions all throughout the day. We use the hallways for intervention groups. We use even our locker rooms for intervention groups. And so having space to grow and to meet those needs is going to be critical for our future growth. Today, for instance, today we had purposeful planning where our teachers got together to look at data and as their team and to plan interventions so that when we get back from spring break, we will be ready to roll and start day 1. But to do this, we had to cancel our groups that meet in that room. And so students weren't able to come down and have that targeted intervention spot because we didn't have a space for our teachers to meet, to look at that data and to grow. So this would alleviate that, giving us room for those kind of initiatives. Expanding our robotic initiatives, that's been a huge thing. We have teams headed to state. We've been working really hard on growing that robotics program. We're really excited about it. And they need a dedicated spot for them to have their materials, for them to build their robots, and for them to work the project. Special education services. Currently, we have 4 teachers sharing classrooms, pulling multiple groups. Our speech is sharing classrooms, pulling students into speech meetings and services. Our EL learners, our English learners, we have 2 teachers sharing a room, pulling their students and helping them. All our teachers do a phenomenal jobs of making their schedules work and making sure that students are getting what their needs are met. But as Ms. Campbell said, imagine what they could do if they had their own area to be able to grow and build their programs and not have to bounce around schedules and things like that. Specials, including our social emotional learning, currently is on a cart. It pushes into classrooms and moves around from room to room all day long. You get lots of steps in as you're running around the elementary school. But that also displaces our teachers for that time. So our teachers are not able to be in their classroom. They're not able to have their materials. They're not able to have their computer so that they can work and have the appropriate planning time that they need during that time. And STEM, we would love to add STEM as a special because that is a critical time where kids are developing their critical thinking, learning how to work together, how to solve problems. And to do that, we really need to have a space so all the materials and things could be housed and students could go to that area to build and grow with their STEM learning. These enhancements will allow us to better support our learners, ensuring that they receive the individualized, targeted instruction and all the resources they need as we grow and develop our kids for the future. Thank you.
Thanks, Mrs. Myers. Up next, Mrs. Nunn, Principal, Silver Creek Middle School.
Good evening. I think as you look at the PowerPoints, you notice that the middle school is the most overpopulated into our space. And when I say we don't have a nook or a cranny that's not being used instructionally at some point in time during the day, we don't have much room for many things to go on other than in learning. We also have a room that looks a lot like this, the GPR room. We would like to use it to have small group, large group instructions, students being able to collaborate either in smaller, large groups. And right now, and for the last 3 years, it's been dedicated to a classroom because we just don't have any other space for the students besides using our GPR. We do a lot of student interventions. We have a flex time where teachers pull students who need to make up work, have a missed test that they need to review with the student, maybe get a tier 2 intervention with a student during that time, and there's no place, again, to take them other than the hallways. And again, when you're in our middle school, you'll notice that we don't all change at the same time. We have 6th grade changing at times that 7th and 8th grade are in instructional times. And so there's very, very rarely just a quiet time throughout the day where you can have sustained learning in the class or in the hallways. We too would also like to grow our robotics. We do not have a space large enough and protected to even put a board down for robotics to practice in our school. That is not in a common area. We were lucky enough to be able to use another building in our corporation. However, it's traveled to get to that. So again, building our robotics, we have drones that our students can program and fly. However, they're doing that in either our atrium or our hallways where we have other students changing hallways or changing classes. So again, we'd like to see, and again, use some of those spaces, recoup some of those spaces to have some places for robotics to grow, drones to fly, and all sorts of remote control cars race, and see what all we can do with our STEM and Project Lead the Way classes. As far as small group collaborative work, we have taken over a teacher's lounge and 4 small tutoring rooms to use as an instructional space throughout the day. Our EL, special education programs use those small group rooms as a classroom. Most of the time they do work with small groups, so we don't have a full classroom of 30, but trying to fit 15 8th grade bodies in there is a challenge. It's hard to fit 15 tables or desks in that small space. So allowing us to have a 2 grade would allow those classes to have a dedicated space and be able to work with more than 5 or 10 students at a time throughout the day. And again, our teachers are doing a phenomenal job. It's just normal for us to double up, to work with students in the hallways. Again, even in the classrooms, we have a lot of teachers who use a lot of STEM learning, hands-on learning, working in groups, collaborative groups. And again, for those groups not to be on top of each other, sometimes we do have to have a group go out in the hallway. And then again, you've got that teacher trying to make sure that everybody is safe in the hallway, along with answering questions in the classroom. So again, being able to have some more space, have some more classroom space for instruction so that we can use those small group collaborative rooms for what they were meant to do would increase our student learning.
Thanks, Mrs. Nunn. Up next, Coach Hoffman, Silver Creek High School Athletic Director.
Okay, so this is Brandon Hoffman, the athletic director, not the basketball coach, who's going to bore you by saying we need more basketball courts with the field house. I'm going to talk a lot about the need for gym space, just the need for more room for our high school programs. We offer so many cool programs for our students that are valuable. Just for example, let alone the 18 sports teams that we have, but we do have a robotics program at the high school. We do have an archery team that consists of over 25 team members. We have a winter guard. We have a dance team. We have cheer. We have so many different groups that need room. They need room, and those they require big spaces. And we don't have that. Especially when we have sports going on in season. Those 18 sports we have, we're talking about boys basketball has a varsity, JV, freshman team. Volleyball has freshman, JV, varsity. So it takes up a lot of time when they're in season. But I'm going to skip a little bit and go towards what we have to do currently to make ends meet. We're renting and using facilities around campus. The Sellersburg Church of Christ gym in Sellersburg, that's where our wrestling team practices and competes. High school, middle school wrestling, and elementary club wrestling. We don't have the space at the high school to do that because of other sports going on at the same time as well. The old Sellersburg Elementary, that's where our archery team practices. The Winter Guard, that's where they practice. Our golf teams practice. Our boys golf team practices in a classroom there, just to have room for them to be able to practice. This year we're renting the Kingdom Life Church gym down Highway 31. That's where some of our middle school teams practice, and our off season, that's where baseball, soccer, and off season teams have to practice because of gym space. The lack of gym space here on campus. We are very fortunate. Another example is our cheer program, our high school cheer program. They actually practice in a complex that is rented and paid for by the coaches, by Jen Kaufman, by the Kaufman family. Major League Electronics rents that out for them. I don't know what we would do if they didn't do that. But we're super lucky for that. So we have teams spread out everywhere because of the needs we have. Another thing I'm going to mention is the IHSA that we fall under. A couple years ago, implemented a limited contact program. So these are mandatory, not mandatory, whatever programs that when you're out of season, coaches can work with their team. So, for example, I'm going to use myself as a basketball coach. In the fall, we have 16 workouts we can have with our team preseason. In the spring, we can have 16 workouts with my team when we're out of season. That requires gym space, and that's every IHSA sport that we have. They're able to do this. Well, you have to have a gym to be able to do that. And so when volleyball team is practicing, we don't have a spot to do that. And that's just me. And that's just an example of another thing to consider is we have a lot of outdoor sports in the fall and spring. Football, soccer in the fall. Say, for example, if there's a lightning delay, there's 90 people on the football team. And we have volleyball practices going on as well. Like, where can we put them? It's a pretty tough puzzle to solve when these teams are practicing and we're on a lightning delay or a heat delay, and it's hard to find somewhere to put them. And then, part of the field house, one of the options would be to have a track. That would be so great for our PE classes, for our strength conditioning classes, for all our sports teams, even community members to use. Another thing that's coming down the pike for athletic directors is more emerging sports coming to schools. We just passed boys volleyball is now a current sport that requires a gym. Girls wrestling, that requires more gym space that we have to rent for that program. Girls flag football is a sport that we're starting in the fall. They'll need a place to go if there's inclement weather. Girls lacrosse is an emerging sport in the spring. So just finding places to put these. And then another positive that would come if we had more room would be that we could generate revenue for our school by hosting events, hosting tournaments. I'll go to, say, for example, North Harrison, who has a field house. They have 4 courts. They can have volleyball tournaments and get paid $700 a court for the people to be able to use their facility, and that money would go back to the school and to their programs. Just ways that we could host tournaments, we could host competitions, band, winter guard, archery. Just a lot of ways we could generate money. So I just wanted to get everybody some information on maybe some things that people wouldn't consider in terms of a need for more gym space and how it would be used.
That's okay. All right. Thanks, everyone.
Next up, we have community input. We have one signed up, but if anybody would like to sign up to speak, all you need to do is just come up. I'm going to hand this back to Susan, and all you need to do is just sign it, and we'll put you on. We have Heather Ratchford. Hey, just a reminder while she's getting ready, all community input is limited to 3 minutes. Dr. Balmer is our official timer. He'll give you a 1-minute warning, a 30-second warning. Once time's up, we'll let you finish that sentence, and then Mr. Smith will discontinue the microphone. Go ahead, whenever you're ready.
Hi, my name is Heather Radford. I'm a community member. I actually have a few different things that I've been asked to read, but I probably will not have time to read all of it, so I'll just start with one and go from there. So first is a statement from a community member. Good evening, members of the board, administrators, and fellow community members. This community deserves transparency, fairness, and a real plan that doesn't rely solely on taxpayers to foot the bill. Let's start with funding opportunities that have been ignored. Silver Creek has not made a strong effort to secure state and federal grants that could help offset costs, grants that other school districts have successfully used to improve their schools without raising taxes. In addition, private funding, corporate partnerships, and educational endowments have not been aggressively pursued. Many school systems across the state have secured significant contributions from local businesses and private donors, yet here taxpayers are expected to be the only source of additional funding. Why isn't this district seeking out these alternative revenue streams before demanding more from homeowners and renters? Speaking of renters, let's talk about the financial impact on them. Property owners who live in their homes receive a homestead credit, which helps offset the cost of property taxes. Renters, however, do not, meaning that landlords will pass the full tax increase onto them, potentially making rent higher than the increase in a homeowner's mortgage. That means some of the hardest working individuals in our community, many of whom are already struggling with rising costs, will be hit disproportionately hard. I would also like to point out that there's a significant number of economically disadvantaged students in the school systems around here, so that would also hit them pretty hard as well. And there's also a high number of retirees and low-income people in this community that this will hit incredibly hard. Some people have been really worried about it putting them out of homes. So wanted to point that out. And yet not everyone who benefits from this referendum will pay for it. With approximately 25% of Silver Creek students coming from outside the district, their families will not be contributing a single cent toward this tax increase, yet their children will still benefit from the funding. That is fundamentally unfair to the taxpayers who live here and are being asked to carry this financial burden alone. Before forcing this on our community, the district should be fully exploring all other funding options, including grants, private donations, and cost reallocation, instead of treating a tax hike as the first and only solution. Transparency and fiscal responsibility should come before higher taxes. I urge you to do the work to find alternative funding and provide real answers before asking this community to pay more. So another thing I wanted to quickly touch on is that there was a suggestion on a Facebook post that I thought, it was a long one that I thought was really good, but I can only read part of it here. So a suggestion was that a smarter way to tackle this could be to extend the bond from 25 to 30 years. This lowers the annual tax impact so people aren't getting slammed. Break the project into phases instead of asking for it all at once. For example, fix HVAC, expand the primary school, build only necessary classrooms. Then a few years later, if enrollment is still rising, build the new school. Then you apply for state and federal grants first, and then cap out of district transfers. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
We have a couple more, okay. Jim, I'm gonna probably butcher your name here. All right, how about we just go with Jim?
Just fine. Yeah, I'm also a resident of the community.
Perfect.
You know, the prior speaker made some good points that I think should be addressed. But my question is, and before I start, to the principals, I acknowledge the fact that you have a lot of challenge when it comes to space. And Coach, I understand what you're facing, what you presented as well. So thank you all for what you do. And thank you folks for what you do too, because it can be a thankless job. I understand that. The question I have is the space thing. Let's talk about it. Is that a point in time assessment? And what studies have you done to see what incoming impact more students will have? Because I know from the town of Sellersburg, subdivisions may be on a hold because of the capacity the sewerage plant can handle. So additional growth may not happen. And is this just a bubble that's going to go down the pipe and finally move out from the high school on into the work environment? So is this a point in time situation that if we can mitigate it through a plan B, you know, and is that something that's achievable over the next 3 years? And I really think you owe that to the community to go, have we done this assessment? Do we have the statistics to show that the bulge that these principals are handling or are experiencing is going to continue? Or is this just a then and now that's grown for a while, but will eventually fix itself down the road? And then in terms of money, is that a swag number, or is that number based on other expenditures that you know it's going to cost this much to happen? So I think people need to know if there's more concreteness underneath those numbers, or if this is just kind of your best guess from where you sit here today. That's really all I have to offer.
Thank you. Thank you.
Okay.
So to answer just a couple of your points, and I'll let Dr. Briggs talk about the feasibility study and the demographic studies that we've done. But from a cost estimate, it's a very high educated guess. So the folks have come in and this is what it takes to build an elementary school or a renovation per square foot. Since we know that if it passes, we're not going to break ground tomorrow. So we would have to plan on what is the potential increase for that over the course of a couple of years. Our goal is, and again, there's also soft costs and everything else into that. Our goal, of course, like with any project, is to come in under. And, you know, if that means that, you know, anything that goes back towards, you know, paying principal or whatnot, of course, that would always be discussed. But it is not just a, you know, a swag number or a WAG number or whatever you want to call it. It's actually a very educated cost estimate from an architect and a design engineer.
And if I may, you know, knowing that if the referendum passes, it might take 2 years plus to break ground, will the bubble that I talk about fix itself in that period?
I'll let him address that.
Yeah, we did have a demographic study done about 3 years ago. I don't have that information off the top of my head here, but so far they have projected, our actual increase in enrollment has been less than what they were projecting. They do anticipate it to continue projecting. I believe they did it about 10 years out, but again, I'd have to refer to those numbers. So right now we are seeing what the demographer predicted. There is an increase. However, since then, 3 years ago, that increase has been a lot greater even than what they predicted.
And that was taken into account on the space allocation you're envisioning will be being.
Yes.
Yes.
I'll just add a few things. Jim, if you're going to get yelled at for not being at the mic, trying to talk by our guy here.
His time's up, so it's just answering his question.
Yeah. I want to thank you for coming tonight. I think you've been very respectful, and I appreciate your kind words. And the only thing I'll respond to is this a point in time, you know, decision? It's definitely time. If you look at the history of this district and where we came from, the last, you know, construction that we had done to our facilities prior to the high school being built was 2009 when the primary was touched. And so, you know, this district separated, I think, due to the needs that it had. Prior to that, we were involved in decades, 30 years worth of fighting and arguing where no progression took place. And this has been building for a long time. This is not a knee-jerk reaction or decision. Every single decision that has been made or put forth has had feasibility studies, research studies, data, years and years and years in the making. The people that are coming forward that are asking the questions now, I think, just have not been involved, haven't been to the meetings, and don't understand how long it's taken. But Silver Creek School Corporation may be new, but what the needs were of this campus are not a new situation. We separated to address the needs. This is the follow-up to all the studies and all the research and all the time that it's taken to get to this point.
Thank you. Next up, we have Patience Rosen.
Good evening, everyone. My name's Patience. Most of you watching and standing in here know who I am. I'm an implant. I am not a Silver Creek graduate. I moved here 4.5 years ago when my husband retired from the U.S. Marine Corps and chose this place and this school district to move his children. He's a Clarksville High School graduate. He said he was only going to send his children to Silver Creek. He knew when he was young, this was the school he was one day going to imagine sending his children, and this is the school that we chose. From that moment, we have not faltered. I have seen everything that this community does for this school. You voted to separate to be able to fulfill the needs of the school that had gone ignored for so very long. And you're talking about the generations that are sitting up here serving this board trying to make changes. They were in this school when it needed these renovations. Now they're sitting in front of you begging you, please don't keep making more generations go through having to wish and want and beg and plead and sit in hallways to get instruction because there's no room. And I'm going to tell you, as a parent who chose not to sit by the wayside and watch teachers and students struggle. I came and I started a PTO for our high school when they've never had one. And I came and I resurrected a PTO for our middle school when it was dead in the water for years. And I've produced these things by asking for help from the community, and they stepped up. And we do these things so that we can take care of our teachers and we can take care of these students and do things without asking for the community to give even more. By doing this stuff, I have the opportunity and the blessing to be in these schools and see the very wants and needs that they're screaming to you that they need, and they're not inflated. The middle school is so far past capacity, there's no room to put anything. And I mean that as the person that sets up every dance in these schools. There's no room for me to put a balloon stand. We don't have room for teachers to put their carts. We need as much help as we can get, and the community, it does affect you. If you don't have kids in the school, this does affect you because these are your future doctors. These are your future homeowners. These are your future taxpayers that we're talking about. These are the people that we want to keep here in this community so that these dragons, despite their guidelines on a map, that these dragons are going to grow up and be these huge changes in the world. And we have to get them what they need to be these big successes. We have to help our educators get the space they need. And these kids need smaller classroom sizes, and these teachers need room to put their books and their computers. And I just can't tell you enough how much it means to know that the community has our back here, that they're not fighting because $100 a month is going to break them. I hate that that would break somebody. I really do. And I promise you I'm good at fundraising. I will do everything I can to help that. I will.
30 seconds.
But just know that this need is affecting every generation in front of you. It is affecting the students that are one day going to take care of you when you need them. So please consider that when you're talking about voting over $50 a month or $100 a month. That change could impact whether that future president is in Silver Creek or they're over at a different neighboring school because they have smaller classrooms. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Patience.
And again, for anybody that has questions, I know, Heather and Jim, there were questions that, you had. Feel free to reach out to us. Dr. Briggs is a wealth of knowledge on the 10-month feasibility study that we did, that we had done, the demographic study that was done when we became Silver Creek School Corporation the year after. And how this kind of goes all along and kind of compiles together. He'd be more than happy to meet with you and answer any questions that you have. Right? Dr. Balmer, you have a financial and operations update.
Yes, good evening. Just a reminder, announced this last board meeting that I will be posting financial updates monthly. Obviously, it'll always be a month behind. We reconcile the months, but after each last board meeting of each month, I will be posting our financial reports that gives an overview of the district's main funds. So again, that can be found on our website on the finance page. Next month, I will be providing our first quarterly update on our finances, along with an school finance educational piece. That is what our appropriations and what part do they play in school finance. So I'm sure we'll have a big turnout for that. So, but enjoying presenting our numbers and going over those, what an appropriation is. A brief overview of our finances is our appropriations are underspent in our two major funds right now. However, we are running pretty close to the max spent on the ed fund, and that has to do with the raises that we have given to both our teachers, staff, and our instructional support team and non-instructional as well. The operation fund, again, underspent in our DLGF appropriation for 25, but we will see that tick up as we move forward with our bus purchases, which was approved with our budget. Some hot topics in school finance, that would be the Senate's in session, our legislation's in session. You do have Senate Bill 1, which has to do with property tax reform. So far, there have been two versions. One for Silver Creek showed about a $2.5 million loss in revenue. The latest version we've seen is more in the $350,000 range. And again, this is going through legislation. That would be a direct hit to our operation fund, which is already taking some pretty significant tax cap loss, but we'll continue to monitor that. There's also a potential impact to the Utica Fire Territory. We did attend the meeting and speak on an impact for Silver Creek, but that would tack on, again, an additional possibility of 250,000 of lost revenue through additional tax cap loss and vehicle excise tax. And we're also waiting to see if there will be any change in our per pupil support amount with the education fund. And again, that will be determined by this legislative session. I do want to give a shout out to our food service, Mr. Sinclair, in his high school team recently implemented Taco Tuesday bar at the high school. There's been a lot of planning with this. There was a couple setbacks with staffing, but I'm glad to report that was very well received by our students this last Tuesday. So pretty neat thing there. Construction phase 3 of the high school is moving right along. All the spaces are now taking shape. There's a lot of framing, drywall. It's very neat to see this all forming up. We're still way ahead of schedule. That was originally scheduled to get our new space from the phase 3 in January of 26, and we're due to our amazing construction team. We're now set to see this space probably fall of 25, if not sooner. And with the high school being ahead of schedule, we're now looking to try to take our 2 classroom modules. As we mentioned, we're out of space, so we are in the works to plan to try to relocate those over to elementary to try to alleviate some space for temporarily. So. And that's all for Operation Finance.
Thank you, Dr. Ballmer. Dr. Briggs, consent agenda.
Yes, for consent agenda, under letter A, finances, we have numbers 1 through 3. Under number 4, we have numbers 1 through 4. And then under number 5, we have number 1. Under letter B, personnel, under 1, certified, we have number 2, leaves. We have letters A and B. Under number 3, resignations, letter A. Under number 4, letter A. Under number 2, classified. Under number 1, appointments, we have letters B through H. Number 2, resignations, letters A through C. Number 3, retirement, letter A. Number 4, leaves, A and B. Under number 5, positions, A and B. And under letter C, other, we have numbers 1 through 11. And that's it for the consent agenda.
Thank you, Dr. Briggs. Hearing the consent agenda, do we have a motion to bring that to the floor?
Also move.
Mr. Groen makes a motion. Do we have a second?
A second.
Ms. McDaniel seconds. Any discussion or comments? Hearing none, all of those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Motion carries 4-0. Next up, under discussion action items, we have a legislatively update. As you know, our legislative liaison, Mr. Basham, is not here tonight. What I can tell you is that House bills and Senate bills are on the floor, and that is evolving and changing daily. So we've still got well over another month, but about 7 weeks left in the session, I think, 6-7 weeks left in session. So any things are subject to change. Next up, under action items for approval, we have Calhoun change order number 14. That information was in your board packet and your activity report from Dr. Ballmer. Do we have a motion to bring that to the floor?
So moved.
Ms. Franklin makes a motion. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
Mr. Groen seconds. Any questions or comments? No discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Motion carries 4-0. Next up, number 2 is the EH change order number 5. Again, that detail was in your board packet. Do we have a motion to bring that to the floor?
I so move.
Ms. McDaniel makes the motion. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
Mr. Groen seconds. Any comments, questions, or discussion? Hearing none, all of those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, motion carries 4-0. Next up, we would like to, Dr. Briggs, to give us some information for the naming rights of the Silver Creek High School Auditorium.
Yes, we solicited proposals to name our new high school auditorium. The proposal we received came from the Shreve Family Foundation. Their proposal is to name our new auditorium the Shreve Auditorium. And if accepted, they commit to paying $50,000 a year over the next 5 years for a total of $250,000 a year. Those funds will be directly used for Silver Creek High School and adding to our academies program and getting things set for kids as they strive to earn new graduation requirements. So this is an exciting proposal. Highly recommend the board approve it so that we can move forward. And should you approve it, then we'll have I believe the first performance in there is, I believe, April 21st. So we would do something to recognize the Shreve family.
Perfect. And also, I met with the Shreve family with Dr. Briggs and Jeff Shreve and Janet, both graduates of Silver Creek. The one thing they wanted to do, they love what Miss Glazier's done with our Academy of Finance. But with there are other academies in our high school that they would really love to see bolstered. And they would like to put that money towards our academies and bolstering the education and the offerings that we have. So I along with Dr. Briggs.
You want me to read the use of the gift? Maybe
Sure, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, so I want to take a moment here in their proposal. I'm going to read it verbatim here. It does a lot better job than I did trying to summarize. The gift will be used to support high priority academic initiatives and the needs of students, teachers, and staff at Silver Creek High School. SCSC and donor will review and agree upon the best use of the funds after getting essential input from teachers and staff. More specifically, the priority use of this gift will be used to assist students meet high school graduation requirements through the Silver Creek Career Academy program model.
Perfect. All right, do we have a motion to bring the naming rights of the Shreve Family Auditorium at Silver Creek High School to the floor? Ms. Franklin makes a motion. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
Ms. McDaniel seconds. Any questions, discussions, or comments?
I just want to thank the Shreve family for coming and doing this. This is one thing that, as a school board member, one thing that I kind of pushed on for quite some time was naming rights. We know we wanted to actually find a way to get our community involved, not only just the education process, but athletics. And you're starting to see that now come to fruition with the naming rights of the high school football field, the baseball field, softball fields, and now our auditorium. And so we do look for every opportunity to give back, and we look for the opportunities for our community members to give back. And this is a huge donation, and cannot thank you enough. This is a huge impact for our kids, and that is a great thing, and truly bless you. Thank you so much.
All right. Any more comments, questions, discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, motion carries 4-0. Next up is the request to apply for the common school loan. Dr. Bomber, you just want to kind of go through what the common school loan is and how, and how we.
This is something we take advantage for technology enhancements, and this is one of the things we apply yearly for. And essentially, the way we leverage that is to afford our Chromebook replacements. We're replacing 4 grade levels in a cycle every year to keep up with our one-to-one initiative. So essentially, we leverage the common school loans, a very advantageous rate that they give you a 1% loan through the state of Indiana. You do have to apply for it. We try to time this so as common school loans fall off from previous ones, then we'll add a new one onto it. But this is something that helps the shortfall of our curriculum material. We're right around $350,000 to $400,000 of shortfall between what we get from the state versus what we need to spend on our curriculum, instructional costs. So this is one way we help offset that shortfall is by taking advantage of this common school loan.
We have a motion to bring the request to apply for the common school loan to the floor.
I so move.
Mr. Grohl makes a motion. Do we have a second?
I second.
Ms. Franklin seconds. Any comments, questions, or discussion?
I just want to give you props for, I know, staying on top of this and following up. I know that they don't always open that loan, and you were right on top of it when they did. I think that you mentioned in our activity report that they designate kind of $1,000 per student that you can use and allocate up to. And I can't think of a better investment really than our technology, and continuing staying up on top of that and making sure that we have those one-to-one initiatives. That was something that this school district, again, initiated and did when we became our own school district. Prior to that, which was only 4 years ago, most schools had the one-to-one initiative and we did not. So the fact that we've been able to not only get the one-to-one initiative established as a new corporation and then staying on top of it, consistently providing technology updates to our students and putting those devices in their reach is good. So good job. Appreciate it.
Any other comments? Hearing none, all those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Motion carries 4-0. Last up is just seeking the permission to go out for proposals for our Silver Creek High School baseball field and softball field naming rights. We did get notification I guess it was last week, from Hunter Station that they would like to forego their sponsorship of the baseball and softball fields. So we'd like to ask the board to go ahead and seek permission for future sponsors. With that, do we have a motion to bring that to the floor?
I so move.
Ms. McDaniel makes a motion. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
Mr. Groen seconds. Any comments, questions, or discussion?
I just want to mention that Hunter Station Pizza, they continue to support our schools, every club, sport that you can imagine. They are always willing to help. I did speak to their owner, Mr. Fox, and Mr. Lawrence, just, with regards to this withdrawal of their naming rights. And I think that going forward, I think we just need to make sure and clarify what other contracts that we have on the fields, and what exclusive naming rights look like. We have a lot of people in our community who step forward and want to help and who provide donors or donorship and things like that. And so moving forward, I think that we just need to be clear and concise on what those previous contracts look like and then what this exclusive naming rights looks like going forth. I think that their withdrawal from the naming rights will just allow them to provide that sponsorship and support in many other areas.
Any other questions, comments, discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, motion carries 4-0. Next up, we have our building level reports. Ms. Campbell.
Hello again. All right, just have a few things this evening. I just want to start off by giving a shout out to the SCP staff. We have been working diligently this year to revamp our MTSS program, so our multi-tiered systems of support. This has been a huge undertaking, being sure that every child is receiving exactly what they need each day on their level. And it has been a journey, and our staff has really just done a beautiful job. And as I did classroom walkthroughs today, I was just overwhelmed with gratitude, and also just so pleased and proud to work alongside them. So I just wanted to give a shout out to our staff. Last week, we celebrated Read Across America Week. We celebrated with Spirit Days. We had green eggs and ham at lunch. Yes, the eggs were green. And we had a special birthday treat. We did a book swap. And we then, for the third year in a row, had our favorite book character tournament. And this year, for our tournament winner, Clifford won. We've had a different winner each year, but the kids were pumped. Coming up this week, we're going to celebrate the end of our third quarter and start of spring break with Kona Ice. Kona Ice will be at the primary on Friday. Also a fan favorite of our little friends. Also, we are finishing up our readathon. We are almost to our goal of $16,000. So thank you to our PTO and all of our volunteers and donors. And lastly, I just want to wish everyone a safe and relaxing spring break. This break is always much needed, and everyone is always grateful for it. So, any questions for me?
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Ms. Myers?
Good evening. Thank you to everyone for coming out. We wanted to share a few updates from Silver Creek Elementary. First of all, we've completed the iRead administration this week. It's been a huge undertaking. We've successfully given it to all of our second and all of our third graders, and we're still waiting for all those results. And I know we have lots of people that are out there wondering about that. As soon as we can release those, we certainly will. But I'd like to give a shout out to all of our teachers and their dedication in preparing the students. They have went above and beyond to make sure that our kids, their emotional needs were taken care of. The anxiety around a large test like that is high. And so we have really paid attention to some of those things and tried to be extra sensitive. But we've also, their academic needs, making sure that they were ready and had every intervention and every step that they could in order to pass that test. And then also to our students, because their hard work and effort in demonstrating their knowledge and showing what they know, it was time for shining. So they've done a great job. Our robotics robotics team has a competition this coming up Saturday at state. And so we're excited about that. Actually, it's Silver Creek Middle School, shout out to them. The 6th grade and 8th grade teams are competing this weekend. The 6th grade team is a team that has grown with SCE, and still, they are kind of a part of us. And so they were our first robotics team, have 3 years of experience, and just a special place in our heart. And we know they're going to represent Silver Creek well. So some upcoming events right after spring break, we will have our book fair, which is March 31st through April 4th. It will be right in here. So, and right after spring break. Also, we have a family education night planned for Thursday, April 3rd from 5 to 7 here. Families will get to engage in literacy and mathematical activities that have been aligned to our CKLA curriculum. They're exploring some different cultures and countries and history, things that the kids have been learning throughout their CKLA journey this year. So save that date, April 3rd from 5 to 7. Also, when we get back, we'll be starting to kick off our Dragon Dash, which is our PTO's fundraiser for the year, where we raise, PTO raises money to help support the kids in different, enhance different activities here at school and in their classroom and their learning and the resources around our entire campus. So we want to thank everyone for their support for Silver Creek Elementary and wish everyone a happy and blessed spring break.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Ms. Nunn?
Good evening again from Silver Creek Middle School. Last week we had the opportunity to listen to a speaker, professional speaker. Tom Gillis came in. He is a professional snowboarder, and he spoke to our students about the consequences of choices, respectful relationships, academic excellence, peer acceptance, personal value, achieving your dreams. He also holds the world record for snowboarding dropping 40 foot from a crane onto a half pike. So it was incredible to hear him speak. And the message he gave is that we're not born winners or losers, but we're born choosers. And so again, what you choose to focus on and how you choose to spend your time has a great impact on your life. And that, how you persevere through not only those highs, but also those lows in achieving your goals. And so again, just a thankful heart to our local FCA representatives for securing Tom Gillis, our Silver Creek Middle School FCA sponsors and leadership team that helped us when he gave his presentation, and for Tom Gillis coming and speaking to our students. We really appreciated his message. We want to congratulate our 6th grade boys for winning the Clark Floyd basketball tournament. Our swim team has had many accomplishments over their season. At the season opener, they won all but one event. I'm going to read some of the first place finishers. In a 200 medley relay and a 200 free relay, the team of Dash Leonard, Bristol Kane, Hadley Livers, and Casey Volker won. Leonard in the 200 free and 50 butterfly, Kane in the 100 individual medley and 50 backstroke, Ian Ramirez in the 100 free, and Livers in the 50 breaststroke in that meet alone. At the Hazelwood Henryville meet, they won 8 races. Placing first was in the 200 medley relay in the 200 free relay team of Dash Leonard, Bristol Kane, Hadley Livers, and Casey Volker. Leonard again in the 200 free and the 50 butterfly, Kane in the 100 individual medley and the 50 backstroke, Livers in the 50 breaststroke, and Volker in the 50 free. And then they won a very close meet over Jeffersonville and Henryville and New Washington just last night, and our swimmers won 8 of the 9 events. Again, placing first for the Dragons were 200 medley relay team of Bristol Kane, Hadley Livers, Dash Leonard, and Casey Volker. Leonard won the 200 free and 50 fly. Kane won the 100 individual medley and 50 back. Volker in the 50 free. Livers in the 100 free style in the 50 breaststroke. So congratulations to all of our swimmers. On March 1st, our wrestling team competed in the Highland Hills Middle School Invitational, and we had Silas Garpetti win his weight class, so congratulations to Silas. On Monday night, we had our bowling team winning 17 points. Andrew Luther was the high boys scorer with 326 points in 2 games. I think it's points. I'm not quite sure in bowling. And Cadence Mosley for the girls had a score of 240. I don't think I could have all my bowling, and I would not make those all together. Again, like what Ms. Meyer said, I do want to wish our robotics team the best of luck as they represent our school district at state. We have a couple of our teams going up, and we wish them all the best. And again, with this being said, most of our winter sports are closing out. Our spring sports are getting ready to begin, and we want to wish them the best of luck as well. I do want to note that we had a 7th grade geography class challenge. 46 students attempted an African Map Master Challenge. They took an optional map quiz over the entire continent of Africa, which is locating all 55 countries. 33 of those 46 students received perfect scores. So congratulations to all those students. I also want to talk about our staff and students. They've worked tirelessly over this last quarter. We have battled weather and illness, e-learning, in-person, back and forth, and we are so thankful for not only our staff and our students, but again, the whole community supporting our students and staff throughout all the various ways of learning. Last week was the first time we welcomed our 5th graders into Silver Creek Middle School, and we are thankful. We want to say thank you to our band and choir. They put on a great show for them, talked a little bit about that the people that were sitting watching could be in the seats next year. We had our 6th grade band play for them, which was wonderful. We also talked a little bit about our electives and things that they will see as they come to the middle school, and we gave them information. Again, we will keep sharing this information, but on Thursday, May 1st, we will have a Welcome to Middle School night where we'll talk a little bit about our middle school and let them roam the halls and have some fun. Again, can't believe how fast this year has passed and that it is already time for spring break. We wish everybody a safe spring break and hope you enjoy some time with your family. Safe travels to anybody who's taking advantage of the break to get away for a little bit. Any questions for the middle school?
Thank you. Thanks, Christy. Dr. Willman?
Good evening, and while Patience is still here, I'd like to give a public thank you to her and all the work that she does for our students, for student recognitions, and looking forward to the things we got coming up in the spring with after prom and all of that. Also, we just finished on the other side of this. We finished SAT today, more or less. So Mrs. Edrington did a great job of organizing that, and Mrs. Oliver was able to finish the job. So we look forward to the results that we have for that. Also, the jazz band, we have 2 jazz bands, and both received gold ratings at the ISSMA Jazz Festival this past weekend. And several students received outstanding soloist ribbons. Those include Dean Kimmelgore, Brady Blankenbaker, Gavin Browning, Miles Smith, Sean Moffitt, and Taylor Baker. Athletics, I want to congratulate, we didn't get a chance to do this last time because the sectional hadn't occurred yet, but on the boys swimming team, individual place winners in sectional include Nikola Ganchev, Royce Apple, and Logan James. And then in addition to those students, several others placed while on a relay team, Aaron Wing, Mason Livers, and Andrew Finn. Also, the basketball team, boys basketball team, finished its outstanding season this past weekend. Thrilling finish with a 22-5 record with wins over outstanding programs in the immediate area as well as the state. So I know they're disappointed in how it ended, and it was an exciting end of the season, but it was a fantastic year. They have a lot to be proud of. Currently in the all sports in the Mid Southern, we lead in the boys division, I guess. We're in first place in the all sports points category, and then for the girls, we're in second place by maybe like 3 points. So we are definitely in the running to win that as well. So we look forward to the spring sports season that's already preparing. Also, results from the Business Professionals of America, speaking of Mrs. Glazer that we did earlier, 4 of our students made it to the Nationals, and listed below, I'll list their placing at state and the category. Lisa Weeks is 5th in payroll accounting. Stephanie Agama is 3rd place in interviewing skills. Caroline Baronclaw, 3rd place in accounting, and Noah Kane, 1st place in accounting. So I'm sure we'll do some sort of recognition for them. Also, we just finished some AP mock exams. We have teachers working very hard preparing students for that with our AP Teacher Investment Program that we're a part of with the University of Notre Dame. So we complete that tomorrow with calculus, and then we look forward to how they will do on the AP tests in May. The last thing that I want to point out here is something that we don't typically do at a recognition thing like this. We have a cessation program at Silver Creek High School. And we have issues with vaping. And I think any high school principal that tells you that vaping is not a problem at his high school is either 1, totally oblivious to what is going on, or number 2, is lying to you. So we have problems, but this is our way of addressing this. We want students, instead of being so punitive, we want them to quit. So we have a cessation program, and we have reported now, and this is all self-reported, we have 80% of our students that are in that program have quit, or at least they report to have done that. So, of course, many people out there know how difficult that addiction can be. And so I just wanted to, obviously I'm not going to say these students' names, but it takes a lot to overcome that sort of thing. So I want to point this out to Miss Casey Drain, and the great work that she does. So thank you.
Thank you. Thanks, Rob. Dr. Waters, do you have anything?
Good evening. All right, the health team would like to extend some thank yous. So thanks to our Clark County Health Department, especially Doug Bentfield, Administrator, Dr. Eric Yazel, Health Officer, and Sherry Stopper, RN School Liaison, who continually collaborate and help us keep our dragons healthy and safe. Most recently, they donated 80 first aid kits to Silver Creek High School for each classroom's emergency to-go bag. So big thanks to them. We'd also like to thank Christy Franklin and Silver Creek Dragons Foundation for providing each school clinic with various supplies that will directly serve our students. The health team is grateful to have your ongoing support, so thank you. Lastly, we'll be presenting Always Changing to the 5th grade students in separate classes for girls and boys on Friday afternoon, March 14th. This program was designed for use by school nurses, classroom teachers, and other educators who have responsibility for teaching students about growth and development at puberty. I would like to give a big shout out, a huge shout out to the amazing Silver Creek High School staff who've been key in making our first annual College and Career Fair a reality. A special thanks to Amy Compton, Sasha Meredith, and Amanda Owen, who took on the challenging task of planning a comprehensive and engaging fair for all of our high school students. We began this process, I thought it was in the spring, but possibly this past fall, and just didn't really know where to go with it, and didn't, like Ms. Brown said, didn't just want to check off a box. We knew we wanted something more engaging, more robust for our students. We were then joined by Hannah Oliver, Dr. Willman, Tracy Hatter, and Amy Stengel to continue the planning process. And of course, we couldn't have done it without the brilliant mind of Kate Brown. Without her, I don't think we'd be where we are today. Thanks to this incredible team, we're ready to offer a truly exceptional college and career fair experience for all of our 9th through 12th graders, and I can't wait to see it come to life. Do you all have any questions for me?
No.
No? Thank you.
Sorry. You don't. All right. Dr. Briggs?
Yeah, just thanks to our students who came out this evening. Congratulations on their accomplishments. Thanks to our staff who came out to speak. I'm really looking forward to the College and Career Fair. Wish everyone a safe and relaxing spring break, and just want to note that we've been here for about 90 minutes here this evening, and yeah, we're here to do school corporation business, but the vast majority of things that we've talked about here tonight come back to our students and our staff. So really love that. So thank you, everyone.
Dr. Bauman?
Yeah, exciting times. Always great to hear all the wonderful things going on. We thank the principals for sharing, not only for the impact of the referendum for those who spoke, but also just all the great things going on in your building. Definitely want to thank the Shreve family, just a great family, and so awesome to see Silver Creek graduates willing to give back for such an awesome cause. So very thankful for that. And yes, thank you for everybody who's worked so hard to plan Career Day. I can't believe that we're going to give that awesome experience to our students. I mean, So y'all went so above and beyond with that. So thank you for caring so much. And again, there's things like that go on consistently in this district, and that's what makes us so special. Those who are just willing to give so much to ensure our students get an awesome experience and prepare them for success. Want to wish everybody a great spring break, and congratulations for getting here. I always call this the climb. It's a long way to spring break when you're in the classroom with those students day in, day out. But thank you for all you do, and I hope everybody stays safe.
Thank you, Dr. Brown. Ms. McDaniel.
Yes. So I would really like to speak to those who have community members who've come to speak tonight. And some of them have already left, but I'm aware that a lot of people are suddenly watching our school board meetings. And probably about 2 years ago, I felt really convicted about coming to our school board meetings as someone who had 4 children in this district. And I would often come and be the only person here who wasn't on staff. But because of that, I was able to start getting even more involved than I was. And I am not from here. I'm from Illinois. And we ended up moving here because of my husband's job. And it has been such a wonderful community to be a part of. We were actually slated for Henryville, and we ended up able to become in-district transfers. And as a thank you to Silver Creek, what I decided to do was get involved in the PTO at the primary school. And so I've had a child at the primary school for 8 years straight. And I have been able to see during that time the changes that have taken place because of our growth. And while it's wonderful, it has been difficult to watch going from having an art classroom and a music classroom, where now not only are teachers losing space in their own classroom, their ability to maybe plan their lessons with their own computer because the music teacher needs to show a video. So it's really impacting everyone. But beyond that, I've just been able to see how everyone has worked with that and made the best of an impossible situation. My oldest started with Mrs. Myers at the primary and then moved over here when she did. And then now she's with Miss Nunn over at the middle school. And then my youngest is in first grade with Mrs. Campbell now. And it's just been challenging to see the difference in what has been there for those kids. And I've also had students, my kids have also all needed speech therapy. And so we've been able to come in even when they turn 3, and we were able to bring them in because if you don't know, if you have a child at home who needs speech therapy, we provide that. That's part of what we have to do and part of what we do really well. So if you have a homeschool child, if you just have someone younger who's not of school age yet, we can help with that, and we have to, and we want to, and we have excellent speech therapists. I have high ability students, and I just have been able to be a part of this community in a really involved way. As for what we've done with our studies and our facilities, studies related to that, I've been a part of that because of being involved, and I have seen, I mean, this isn't even really the outcome I wanted, that I preferred, but I know it's the best outcome that we can offer, these projects. And so I just want to speak to the fact that I've seen it all firsthand because I've been here through this divorce and everything, and I've been very involved during that entire 8 years. I've spent almost all of it on the board at the primary on the PTO. And so I just wanted to speak to that. And also, like, when I'm looking at what we're talking about our robotics teams. I'll tell you what robotics team is not pressed for space. It's at the high school, because I've seen them firsthand and what the students are able to do. They're on computers, they're building these machines. I'm watching them do it, and they're able to do it because we've finally been able to invest in that school. And we haven't been able to do that at our other schools. And so I just want to say that for people who maybe you don't know what we can do with certain money that we get, we can't just, there are state laws surrounding money and what we can do with it. We cannot just do whatever we want with it. If you give us a donation, that doesn't mean we can do what you think we can do with it. It may, but it may not. And I didn't know a lot of this because I didn't know about school finance until I really got involved. And thank you to Dr. Ballmer for teaching me about that. It was a real rough hour that Dr. Ballmer had to walk a bunch of us through that, and I still am not sure how he does his job. So another thing I just wanted to speak to was when we talk about taking our practices off-site, I didn't even realize until talking to Casey Drain that she has to make sure that those places have an AED available for those kids. So now it's not that our coaches and our nursing staff aren't great at communicating. They are. But that's another thing that we have to take into consideration is how many more AEDs we have to purchase for every off-site practice we're holding. And so that's just another thing. And so bottom line is what Mrs. Rosen said about these kids being the people who are going to be taking care of you. They're going to be the people who are building your buildings. They're going to be the people who are, if it's my son, showing you magic tricks. It's just, this is our community. I'm just super passionate about public education. Almost 20 years of my education. Only 4 of them were at a private college. And then I went to U of L here. And I love it here. And I just hope that everyone can see what this investment really will do for our kids and for our community, and really not just for the future of those kids, but the future of our entire community. And so thank you to those who came to speak to us, and I hope everyone has a wonderful spring break.
Thank you. And I do just want to clarify, because before I get an email later of why you're on the board, you did move in district.
Oh,
Mr. Groen.
Correct. I moved in district in 2020. So I've also been through this district through the pandemic. Yes.
That's awesome. I also want to thank Ms. Campbell, Ms. Myers, Ms. Nunn, Mr. Hoffman for speaking tonight. I also want to thank Ms. Brown. I'm excited to come to Career Fair. Honestly, that got me so hyped up. I'm like, I wonder if there's a new, no, I'm just kidding. I love my job. I also want to thank all the speakers for coming tonight. And I want to just address, Heather, the people in this room do everything they can fiscally and financially responsible. They try to find every grant. If you watch our board meetings, Dr. Waters, Dr. Swearens, Dr. Ballmer, they will come in here and talk about if it's a $5,000 grant to a $50,000 grant, that they spend hours upon hours upon hours applying for these. And so I thank them for doing that. And I appreciate you coming tonight. Jim, again, we take all the time to do the feasibility studies. It's the demographic studies. This is not, Dr. Briggs said on there, we're here for an hour and a half. We've been here till 11 o'clock at night before. We have spent numerous days talking with our administrators, our teachers on what they need, what they're looking for. We've had Gibraltar come out and spend hours upon hours on their free dime. They are doing this for free to help us out on getting that feasibility studies together to understand what a dynamic cost would look like. This isn't a swag number, a dart I'm throwing at it. But like Chris said, this is something that we have to look at in the future. If we get approved, we have to go out for bid, and then it's going out for the bonds, and then it has to go out for contractors. It's a long period of time. So what does 5 years look like? Who really knows, especially after COVID. And patients, again, thank you for everything you do. We truly appreciate what the PTO does, not just for the students, but also the staff, and we can't thank you enough for that. The administrators, I really appreciate you bringing the kids in. It's one highlight for me is to see JD show up, even though he doesn't speak, to see our Spell Bowl kids. I appreciate the choir showing up tonight. There's things that we don't always get to see because a lot of us here, our kids are in different sports or activities, and so we don't get to always see everything. So I encourage you to bring them out. I'm actually really excited for the new auditorium. Maybe we can have the cast come out and give like a little 5-minute blurb of what's going to be coming down the pipe, because I know they are extremely excited. I'm excited to see the auditorium come to life and really everything that's going on over there. So again, can't wait for that. And I wish everybody a happy and safe spring break.
Just real quick, I think you guys have said a lot. I just want to say the most exciting thing I think I heard tonight were 2 things. The career fair, I think that's amazing. I think that's great. I'm really excited to hear from Nate and Olivia. I think you guys have done an excellent job on that. It's just amazing. And the second thing is I just continue to be amazed at the work that you guys are putting in. The information that you bring every single time to the meeting to explain the questions that we hear that are popping up on social media or that we're getting emailed. We immediately address them. I keep hearing the word transparency. We are being as transparent as we possibly can be. If you are a person with a vested interest in our district and you are wanting information, all of our stuff and information is posted on our corporation website. And I encourage every single person who has questions to come forth and ask questions. And remember who you're getting your information from. We had two speakers here tonight, Patience, and then I think Lauren are just two people that I would, give as examples that when you are involved and you have been to meetings consistently and you have information and you know the why, these are people that you can trust to guide you in the right direction to get you information. If you're getting information from people who want to remain relevant because they see it's a new and exciting topic that's hit social media, and it's only oppositional, and they have none of the facts and none of the research, and they have a specific need to be relevant now. Those are not the people that you need to get your information from. Please come to us, get your information from us. These guys are preparing information monthly, weekly, daily to provide it to the public. So please visit our website. Thank you guys for all you're doing, and enjoy your spring break.
Thank you. Just want to thank and congratulate all of our students on their accomplishments. Way too many to name, but one of the great things that sets us apart is what you saw with our career day presentation tonight. It's a requirement for some, but it's not just a requirement for us. It just goes to show how staff members go above and beyond to not just check a box, to create something special for our students. And that's why this is the ultimate destination and place to be. So thank you all. I appreciate everything you've done. Everybody that's coming out to talk tonight, I appreciate you doing it. I appreciate you coming up here and speaking. You have the right to speak because this is a big ask and it's not taken lightly. I welcome questions because then we wouldn't know necessarily all the concerns. So appreciate that. And welcome new hires. We're glad you're here, and have a great spring break. It seems like it's been I can't use the word I want to use, but it's been crazy since January, the Monday after Christmas vacation, but it seems like it's just been crazy, and so you guys deserve it. At this time, we'd like to announce our next scheduled meetings, which is April 8th and April 22nd. April is a two-board meeting month for us for a regular meeting, and then also May 13th. Those are our next three meetings here at the elementary school in this room at 6:30. At this time, I'm going to ask our meeting for adjournment. Our motion, sorry, for adjournment.
I so move.
Ms. Franklin makes a motion. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
Ms. McDaniel seconds. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Passes 4-0 at 8:20. Meeting adjourned.